Guys, and welcome back to another man versus deer video. In today's video, I'm getting in a quick hunt before work, but it's the rut and anything can happen. Let's get after it.
What a roller coaster of a season it has been. She came in downwind and actually winded me.
Welcome back to the channel, guys. If you're new to the channel, make sure to smack that subscribe button. Definitely like the video, and for sure leave a comment. I love hearing from you guys. It is November 9th. It's one of my favorite days to be in the woods, and I'm hunting. I gotta be to work at 10, so I don't have long to hunt, but it's November and anything can happen. I had a dual purpose in coming out here this morning too. And that is that the next day I can hunt is rifle season. So I'm going to leave my stand out here, take my sticks with me, and I'll be all set in here to come in here and smack one during rifle. It's really, really thick in here. High stem count, small diameter trees. It's about 66 degrees, so it's kind of warm. Pretty breezy, to be honest. And the leaves are dry, so I can hear everything for a mile, it seems like. I'm tucked over just one side of this little ridge. A lot of small diameter trees and cedars around me. It's not actually that far from where I killed my rifle buck last year, which I'll link that video here. If you haven't watched it, it's an awesome hunt. But I'm set up in a spot that I've watched bucks cruise through multiple times. For whatever reason, they like to cruise through this spot. So I've made a little bit of an adjustment. I hopefully put myself in the game. I got a perfect one for this spot, so we're gonna sit and see what happens. Been pretty uneventful for most of the morning. I did have a group of does work through. I think there may have been a small buck with him that was chasing him around, but he kind of worked off. They came from the thickest part, hung around for a minute, and then kind of boogered away, and I'm not sure why. My wind was blowing the exact opposite direction, but anyways, no decent bucks have been seen yet. I rattled right at first light, and I just rattled again. I got about an hour left to hunt. So hopefully that'll draw in anything that was big and close, a little closer. put a shot on a pretty nice buck. I don't think it was the best shot. I think it was pretty high on the shoulder. I didn't stop him because he was so close. It looked like it was high on the shoulder. I'm gonna leave him sit, and I'm gonna go home and look at the footage because he's kind of headed towards the neighbors, and I just don't. He was a really nice deer. I just don't want to push him if he's not hit that well. I hit him in the shoulder, and he kind of ran out maybe about 100 yards and then just stood there flicking his tail. So I'm just not sure how good of a hit it is. I may not find that buck, to be honest. He came through here cruising right where I normally see him cruising, so. Man, I wish I'd have put a better shot on him. I'm gonna get down and try to mark some kind of blood, and I'll probably come back and look for him tonight. I'm shaking a little bit. Damn it. Well, guys, I got off work not that long ago, and me and my brother are gonna go look for this buck. I really don't have high hopes. I've been sick to myself all day. Watch the footage. And whereas there is a small chance based on where I seen the arrow hit that it may be because the angle could have hit the backside of one long, or maybe if it was if those blades open close to the spine, it could have hit an artery. I really don't have high hopes. I think this buck is going to be just fine. With that being said, I think we owe it to the animals that we hunt, especially if you put an arrow in one, to go make 100% sure that you didn't kill it. So that's what we're going to do. I really didn't booger up the area. I got down and I quietly left. I did go to the spot of impact and I didn't find any blood or hair. But I know the area pretty well. And there's a bed. Basically, when I shot the buck, he ran about 100 yards and then stopped for a while and then slowly moved off. Very, very similar to like what a liver hit deer would do. And there's a bed right around a little point that I know bucks use that he kind of seemed to be heading towards. And there's a little ravine that kind of feeds down to a pond, and it's the only water in the area. So I'm basically just going to make my way over to that bed. Hopefully I'll find my arrow. Maybe we'll see some blood. We'll just have to get over there and look at it. And then if all else fails, we'll work our way down to that water source and see if he maybe died by that. So that's the plan. I'll update you guys as things happen. And I'm hoping that either we find a dead deer fast, or he looks like he's going to be okay, and maybe I'll catch up with him during gun season. But it's always frustrating when that happens. I've never had that happen with a buck before, so it's eating me alive. But we're going to get out there and see what we see. So we found the arrow. Looks to be about 6 inches of penetration. We found 2, now 3 different blood spots, just pinpricks and bad looking blood. I'll show you.
Weird looking turd over here.
That's the last one. So we're just we're in some thick stuff now. I think he's trying to bed down. So we're just gonna keep on pushing in and see what we see here. Shortly past the speck of blood, we've got some hair here. So we're on the trail. Just haven't seen him bed down or anything once. So, well, guys, we found my arrow. We got about 6 inches of penetration on the arrow. We found 3 different little splotches of blood. Most of them were just pinpricks. But we were able to stay on that track for about 300 yards. It was about 100 yards before we found the first blood, about 100 yards before we found the second blood, about 100 yards before we found the third blood. So for minimal blood, it was actually a pretty decent track job. My synopsis after seeing all the data is that that deer is probably in some pain right now, but he's gonna live. The reason I say that is because 1, the camera footage showed the arrow going into no man's land. 2, when we were tracking that deer, there was no beds. To our best knowledge, he did not lay down and was not bleeding very much, not even a little. So based on that information, I think he's gonna be okay. The last little bit of blood too looked a little bit fresher than the rest, and we were in a pretty thick bedding area, so I think we maybe flushed him out, and that's been about 9 hours ago. So I think if he was gonna die, he would have already. Rifle season's coming up. I'll probably catch him dogging a doe back through that same area, so hopefully I'm able to catch back up with him. Really, really sucks that happened,
In hindsight, I probably should have taken more time, stopped the deer, realized that I had my sight on 25 yards instead of 20, and aimed a little bit lower. But that's the reality of hunting. You know, you get excited sometimes and you make decisions too fast, and that's the price you pay. So kind of a shitty way to end a video. I don't like doing that, but that's the reality of hunting. If you like what I'm doing with the channel, please like the video. Make sure you smack that subscribe button and definitely leave a comment. I love hearing from you guys. Hopefully the next time you see me, I'll either be holding that buck or a different buck. But yeah, I appreciate you guys watching. Catch you in the next one.